Greetings, harmoniacs of the world. My name is Rick Dempster. I'm from Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, and I have a technique here that I'd like to demonstrate to you that I have not heard anybody else use. Back in the late 70s I thought I'd discovered overblowing for myself. This is before the internet. I did discover it for myself, but I thought I was the first one. Later I found out I wasn't. So who knows? But of course, with the access to the internet, and I've heard, I think, pretty much most of things, anything that was new, anything from the 1920s onwards, I've heard it. So this technique here is something I just stumbled across, and I thought it might be of interest to a few of you. I'll just play what I'm talking about, and and then I'll talk about it. So here we go. This is a C harmonica. I'm going to draw, and you can hear what happens. Move up a step. Okay, so what's happening there? I'm doing the thing I learned off Gwen Foster, the great 1920s, 30s harmonica player, the tongue switch. Much favoured by Joe Filisco. He does a lot better than I do. But that's that technique of tongue switching, like that. The only difference is that I'm bending, in that demonstration then I was bending the note to the left, that side, like so. Okay, so what it means is, as most of you would know, if you're playing a blues in cross harp in second position, blues in G, you've got your 1 chord there, your 4 chord, there's a blow chord, but you can't get a 5 chord. You can maybe block out whole 5 and get the 1 and the 5, but you don't get the 3rd. You've got to play as an arpeggio, like that, or overblow. Not very well. Okay, now of course this isn't a chord. Howard Levy was out here a little while ago, I think it was late last year, and I went to one of his workshops and he was demonstrating octaves, playing octaves, so this is connected. I'm not very good at that, am I? That's pretty hard to get the A, the bent A on draw 3 and the open A on hole 6. He went around the room full of students and asked who could do it. He pointed at me and I said, well, yeah, I can do it, kind of, but I actually use this technique. I use it for this technique with the tongue switch, and it seemed Howard hadn't heard that before either. If Howard hasn't heard of it, then I don't think anybody else would have either. So this is kind of good because you can get, it's not a chord, but like an animated cartoon where still drawings give the appearance of movement. The 2 notes give the appearance of a chord, even though it's not a chord because they're not played simultaneously. You could, like, let's go for a D chord. Like, I would do it like this, like not a chord, but the tremolo. So you've got the 3rd on the bottom there, and the root on the top. You could do it like that. For some reason I've never found that very useful. I can't really work that in my playing. But the thing is that there's quite a few choices if you use this technique. For example, if I'm doing a tune, like I'm playing 12th position, and I do a tune like Lovesick Blues by the old Hank Williams or Emmett Miller tune, like in F on the C harp. Whoops, my overblow doesn't work. Etc. And then when it goes to the bridge, if you're in F, it's going to go to an A chord. It goes to the 3rd. Okay. Now an A chord you can arpeggiate like that, but I can play the root and the 3rd here of the A chord with this tremolo technique. Doesn't always work really well, but okay. And the next chord in that tune is a D minor. No worries. Okay, so that's something else that you can use that technique for. Anything you can bend, you play the other note next to it. Now, bending two at the same time is not something that I've managed to master. Another thing is to bend the note on the higher side and leave the lower note unbent. It's harder, it doesn't work quite as well. For example, if I bend draw 6 from the A down to the G sharp and then pull draw 4, I get the 3rd and the 7th of an E chord. Okay? And of course, if I switch that around, I go to the A chord. Sounds pretty horrible there, but I'm working at it. But you get the idea. And there's all kinds of permutations of that. I'm not going to go through them all right now. I think the most useful one is probably that D arpeggio, or tremolo, whatever you want to call it. My fake chord, which is like, you know, in the blues. Stay there, go to the blow chord. Right, C chord. And you're back to the G chord. You can even bend that F sharp another half a step down, so you get a minor. And of course you can just use it as an alternative to the G7th, instead of having you could do it by bending on the left side of your mouth. Okay. Yeah, and of course there's the blow bends up the top too, tricky. I'm working on it, it's a work in progress, but you get the general idea. I'm not going to sit and catalogue. I've actually worked out all the different kinds of chords, and a 2-note chord can be used as many different things. You know, a major third can be a augmented chord, a minor third could be part of a diminished chord. So there's all sorts of things going on there. Let me think if I borrow. That could be like a sort of a substitute A9th there, with the D down the bottom, pull down a semitone. This is my son barging in. If we pull the D down a semitone, and we've got a B up the top there. Okay, so that could be like an A9th, I guess. So there's all sorts of things going on. Of course, you've got to be able to tongue switch to do that. Any of you people out there who do any of the old choke harp, as they call it, I believe, down in the south there, in the USA, choke harp or fox chase, this sort of thing. It's kind of connected to that, because as soon as you pull your tongue off, the bent note pops up. It's connected to that. It's connected to playing octaves with the bent note. So yeah, have fun, and I might actually catalogue some more of these possibilities and get back to you later on. Thanks for watching and listening.
YouTube video?